Welcome to my channel. Let's take a ride on the E-Way.
This is the tragic story of Byron Keith Hall and Taylor Ben. Byron tragically unalived his sister after a mental breakdown and argument.
Man charged in the murder of a woman in a Kingwood home has a criminal history involving violence. Byron Hall is charged with killing Taylor Ben and then opening fire on responding officers Sunday. ABC 13's Tom Abrams has more about the suspect and joins us live. Tom?
Hey, Eric, police still have not released what the potential motive would be for the violence that unfolded in Kingwood yesterday, but we do know, as you mentioned, that the suspect has a criminal past. The rental home on Babbling Creek Drive is boarded up after the chaotic and deadly scene that played out Sunday when police responded to reports of gunfire. Investigators tell us 29-year-old Byron Keith Hall was lying in wait and opened fire.
The officer's vehicle sustained approximately 7 shots. The officers reported it was from multiple calibers. We found pistol and short barrel rifles on the scene.
These are photographs of some of those weapons. Christian Jorgensen lives around the corner and heard the gunfire.
And then next thing you know, a couple gunshots go off, and then 10 gunshots go off, and I was like, yeah, so that's got to be something pretty serious.
Then, incredibly, he realized it was happening at a home his family rented for 4 years.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking to me. I actually figured out this morning that house we used to live in by my parents right here, so it was pretty sad,
Incredibly sad for the family of a woman police found dead inside the home after they say Hull surrendered. There were 2 children hiding in a closet. Neighbors tell us they'd moved in just weeks ago, and while they did not know the family, court records reveal Hall got deferred adjudication for assaulting a public servant in 2017 and was charged with indecent exposure last year. Now he faces charges of murder, aggravated assault of a family member, and aggravated assault of a public servant. He's in jail and scheduled to be in court Wednesday. In Houston, Tom Abrams, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Most disturbing new details on a story that we broke last night at 10. A man's now charged with killing a woman in Kingwood while 2 children hid in the home. And we've now learned that woman is his own sister. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor live downtown where that man just made his first court appearance. Brooke, what's the latest on this case?
Right, we now know that suspect, Byron Hall, is accused of strangling and shooting his own sister in court. Earlier tonight, we found out from the magistrate who said that he was a serious public safety concern right before setting his bond. 2 children discovered hiding in a closet in this Kingwood home riddled with bullets. Police say 29-year-old Byron Hall shot and killed his sister, with her kids forced to hear the horror. Hall appearing in court tonight where his bond was set at a combined $1 million.
You're charged with murder, aggravated assault against a public servant, and aggravated assault against a family member.
Police say Hall was waiting outside the home in ambush style for officers to arrive and shoot him before he was eventually arrested. While no officers were hurt, police say Hall fired at them at least 7 times using this pistol and rifle.
When officers arrived, the defendant then shot multiple rounds at the arriving officers, forcing them to take cover.
According to court records, Hall's criminal history includes an indecent exposure conviction in 2023, and in 2017, he was given probation for assaulting a public servant. Brooke Taylor, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
My name is Jessica Anderson, Anderson. I'm an assistant chief with the Houston Police Department. I'm here today with Commander Elisa Smith, who oversees the Kingwood Patrol Division. We are here in the 3700 block of Babbling Creek, where we had officers who were shot at. I'll start by saying the officers did not return fire. No officers have been injured, but you guys are here because this appears to be an officer-involved shooting. Take it from the top. At about 2:35 this afternoon, we received calls of an assault in progress. Those calls were coming from inside a house on this street, saying that somebody inside was possibly shooting. At approximately 2:42, we received an additional call of a neighbor reporting hearing gunshots. That neighbor also said that there's a suspect outside who told her to call the police. Officers arrived at about that same time, at about 2:42, and immediately started taking fire. It appeared that the suspect was waiting outside in an ambush style. waiting for the officers to arrive to shoot at them. The officer's vehicle sustained approximately 7 shots. The officers report it was from multiple calibers. We found pistol and short barrel rifles on the scene, which confirms what they reported. The officers got out of the vehicle and retreated to safety. They continued taking shots for about a minute or so, they report, until the suspect ran out of weapons or the weapon discharged and he stopped. The suspect then proceeded towards the officers with his hands up, and he was taken into custody without any incident. Upon going into the house, the officers located 2 children who were hiding in a closet upstairs. The children were not injured, but unfortunately the officers did find a female inside, deceased with a gunshot wound. All of the parties, the suspect and the victims, were related. It's unclear what precipitated this event. However, the responding officers indicate that the suspect may have been in some kind of mental crisis based on what he was saying to the officers. This is an ongoing investigation. There's a lot of pieces to it. Homicide is here. The crime scene unit will be coming, and they'll be doing a more in-depth investigation, and we'll give you much more details as that occurs. But that's what we have right now. Again, no officers are injured. The 2 children are unharmed. We have 1 female who is deceased. The only discharge of weapons was from the suspect, who shot inside the house as well as at arriving officers. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
So no officers fired at any point?
That's right. The officers retreated to safety. They were taking on lots of rounds, and so they did not return fire because it was not safe to do so for them.
Was the suspect doing this from outside the house, inside the home?
Yeah, as I mentioned, as the officers arrived, they saw the suspect, and it appeared that he was waiting for them. He was standing at the end of the driveway and was shooting at them from there. Other questions?
What was the initial call when officers first made them? Were they already told gunshots were happening in the neighborhood?
They received an assault in progress was the initial drop call, and then it was escalated to a shooting. So as they were arriving, they were aware that there might be guns on scene.
And the suspect is a male, correct?
That's right.
Now, do we know the age of the woman who was shot?
I believe she's in her 20s.
Her 20s. Do you know if they're related, right?
That's right.
And then any bullets get into any homes nearby, other people's homes or cars?
Yes, we have reports that some of the bullets also entered neighbors' homes across the street. We're still trying to determine how many shots might have gone to other locations. That's part of the investigation.
And I know you said that the kids are underage, so I'm assuming they're under state's custody already?
There are some other relatives here that have taken custody of the kids.
Do we know if he was the father of the kids, or still working to figure out that relation to the kids?
Still working to figure it out, but all of the parties inside the house were related.
Do police have an idea of ruling this already as a homicide, or is that what the team's doing right now?
That's part of our investigation. That's likely the direction it will go based on what we know preliminarily. But of course, there's more to the investigation. They have a lot to uncover today.
When you say related, was it a marital relationship, or was it?
It was not a marital relationship.
Has officers made calls to this home before?
No, they have not.
It's my understanding that this family has not lived here for a very long time, so officers have not been dispatched to this location previously.
Do we know if the suspect and the victim, those were their children together, or that's still also part of the investigation?
That's part of the investigation. All those details will be forthcoming.
Did the family that picked up the kids, did they provide any insight into what that relationship was like, or?
They may have. I just don't know. That's part of our investigation. So really the goal today was to give you guys the preliminary investigation or information as they're working through the investigation so that you have an understanding of why we're here today.
Because this is considered an officer-involved shooting, officers didn't fire, so none will be going on leave.
Right. And when I said it was considered an officer-involved shooting, I meant that as why you guys might be here. So it was not an officer-involved shooting. It is just that we took on shots, but no officers were technically involved, as the phrase is commonly used.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Any other questions? So, just to be clear, officers did not discharge their weapons.
That's right. Officers were shot at, but no officers discharged at any time during the scene.
And none of them were received any bullet wounds, or just the car?
That's right. No injuries to officers. just the vehicle.
Like what it do, ayy. I just put her to little shawty swerving in that cool, ayy. Cheeky if I don't love no